we are more than just basketball players who put the ball in the hoop, you know.
Hey everyone, I'm Noah Lichtenstein from Crossover VC. Today we're going to talk about sneakers, pop culture, and e-commerce. And I'm excited to be teaming up with DeMar DeRozan of the NBA San Antonio Spurs. DeMar is one of the best players in the NBA, a 4-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA, and gold medalist with Team USA. And today we're catching up with Josh Luber, the co-founder of StockX, one of the hottest companies in all of commerce, having raised over $160 million in venture funding and rocketing to $1 billion valuation in under 5 years. DeMar, Josh, thanks so much for taking the time today.
But before we get started, we work up an appetite putting this series together, and we want to thank our friends over at DoorDash for their support and for making it easy to get great food delivered to our door.
So let's just kick it off, Josh. Tell us the story. How did you come up with the idea, and where did StockX come from?
I mean, that's a big question, but DeMar was so kind. The kind words about StockX as we were getting started. He's sitting there wearing a Riff LA shirt, which was kind of our competition in the early days when you had Flight Club and Riff and you had these consignment shops. That was really all there was. For me, I've collected sneakers all my life, right? I have the exact same story as every other 42-year-old kid. Like, I grew up playing basketball when Jordan played. I always wanted Air Jordans. My mom would never buy me Air Jordans. As soon as I got some money, we all have the exact same story. And then it wasn't until 2011, 2012 when you have all these people coming into the sneaker industry. And I was working a job. I was working a corporate job, and it was totally a side project. Was I wonder if we could build a price guide, and that was the original idea. Could we build a price guide, essentially just looking at eBay sales to figure out what are sneakers worth? That was the fundamental question, is like, what are shoes actually worth? And I was able to team up with Dan Gilbert, who's the owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers and Quicken Loans and pretty much the entire city of Detroit. And we took this little sneaker price guide and we turned it into a marketplace. And it was really just based on this idea of what's a fair market value for a pair of sneakers, and then built this marketplace that essentially operates the way the world stock markets work. So that is the shortest version of what is, really, I guess 9 years of my life. I have shoes on this wall from when I was in 7th grade. I mean, I've collected sneakers all my life.
Can you give us a view? That's an impressive.
I'm not that great at using this webcam, but I'll see if we can. All right, so it's like the Jordan section over there.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, you got it hooked up.
Yeah, I mean, look, the benefit of being in Detroit that I can build this room.
DeMar, where talk about like when you first kind of fell in love with sneaker culture and kind of this whole pop culture streetwear. Where did that all come from?
I remember being a kid. Remember the old Penny Hardaway commercials?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Little Penny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Penny used to be my favorite. It used to make the shoes that much more cooler because it was like, you got this dog, you got Little Penny, and you got Big Penny coming in the parks, and playground. And I remember becoming infatuated, like, yo, if this was basketball brain and you could have your own little mini self, I want these shoes. So many elements of shoes that came out had a storyline behind it that as a kid I fell in love with. It just had me just want to be a part of it, and it felt like I had to have it.
Not to chalk it up to Nike marketing, but it was the same thing for me. It was it was the Jordan commercials, it was Morris Blackman, it was that whole era of like Nike marketing was just amazing.
There are a couple of things that stand out for you that, people who sort of see StockX today may not realize there were some major hurdles you guys had to overcome.
We're super fortunate that we get to sell the most highly coveted products in the world, right? I don't have to convince anyone to buy Jordans. I don't have to convince anyone to buy Cause or Bearbrick or Yeezys. For us, the challenge was, are we going to have to teach 15-year-old kids how to use the stock market? Really, StockX is just about access. People just want the products. And so sometimes we think that we succeeded because we created a good design, we created a good site, or maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe that kid wants that product so bad that it doesn't really matter. And so if you think about StockX just from an access standpoint, like that becomes the focus of it. And then everything else is just on us to be able to make it work behind the scenes, really.
Let me ask you, DeMar, so you've been in the league now over 10 years. How have you seen the impact of kind of culture and fashion change within the locker room?
it changed so dramatically. I remember my first couple of years, it was a strict dress code. Like you had to wear either like a collared shirt or a button-up shirt. Like you had to look work presentable. David Stern used to find you. I remember I used to avoid the cameras going into the locker room so I wouldn't be seen, so we wouldn't get a call from the NBA office, to now seeing that that's what it's all about. It's damn near like the game isn't the most important thing, but right under that is what you wear to the game, you know? And to see it in how people make it fun and entertaining in such a competition that everybody look forward to, I think it's cool. Even just the shoe game, you know, people paying attention, people look forward to what Kobe I'm gonna wear. It's just hiding the whole culture and excitement for whatever you into. Is such a great thing that keeps everybody connected even more to the game, and just not with our game, just any sport, period.
Yeah.
I assume you have a connect for the Kobe PEs, because you be wearing Kobe PEs that I've never even seen before, some of them.
Yeah, that go back to my relationship that I had with Kobe ever since I was young, and him giving me the leeway to just carry over his legacy with the Kobe brand, and giving me the honor to, you know, every year have my own PE, kind of put my own creative mind to it and go from there with it. So that just came strictly from my relationship with Kobe and everything he taught me, everything I learned from him. That's an honor to me that I carry to this day, to where every summer I look forward to what ideas I can come up with for a PE. So that'd be cool. That's one of my big accomplishments that I'm proud of, to be able to do something like that.
You know what? I pulled out one pair. I figured if there was one group of shoes to talk to you about.
Oh yeah.
It was probably Kobe. This is my favorite pair of Kobe's. I know that you've been wearing Kobe's pretty much all your career, right?
Yeah, my whole career.
So actually, let me ask you this, because I've always wondered, you know, obviously I didn't play basketball like you, but I grew up playing basketball, and I always felt it was weird to wear low tops, you know? Was that ever like, did you switch over to Kobe's? I mean, because he eventually, the first couple models were mids and highs, and then the last like 5 were all low. I mean, does it bother you when you play, or was that?
It didn't bother me, because me personally, I never tie my shoe. Like, it's like,
while you were playing?
Yeah, my shoes are never tied. Like, they laced, but I don't tie my shoe. You know, when guys always say I like high tops because of ankle support, it never mattered to me because I never tie my shoe. So
that's crazy.
So when they switched over to low top, it was even better. I didn't feel like nothing was in the way of my ankle with the mids or the high tops. So
that's crazy. And you've never had like a bad ankle injury or anything from that?
Here and there, but you know, other than that, it's never been a problem.
So I just got a call from everyone in San Antonio. They're asking you to knock on some wood real quick.
No, I just look. I'm probably the most superstitious individual ever. So
I'm shifting gears just a little bit, but you know, how are athletes today, given technology and all the stuff you can do with building a brand, unlocking opportunities, you know, beyond just what you're doing on the court?
Man, it's amazing, the amount of things, and you know, you see it every day, and the opportunities are endless. You see so many guys taking every avenue to expand, you know, being more than just an athlete. You know, for me, I think it's the most incredible thing I become more motivated off guys' decisions off the court than on the court, because it's so many things that these people are doing. You know, just to see a friend, like, for example, like Russell Westbrook go from having a clothing line to putting it in Barney's. You know, like, now he's a whole fashion guru of having a connection worldwide. It's so many elements of things that people do that's just amazing, and it puts no limitations on what we could all do. You know, and I hope people just see that we are more than just basketball players who put the ball in the hoop. You know, guys' minds are so creative, and this platform that we have, being basketball players, open up so much other things that inspire the world. And to me, that's the most joyful thing to be able to sit back and watch and be motivated by.
Yeah. You know, I Josh knows this, but I lead a tech career summit for the Players Association each summer. And that's the first thing I say to the guys is, you know, any guy who is playing pro basketball, you raise your hand and you can have access to talk to the CEOs of the biggest company.
Yeah.
And, you know, because of Instagram, you can be the 8th man on the Milwaukee Bucks and still have a big following in the way that you couldn't have 10 years ago.
Exactly.
And so for me, I love seeing these new opportunities that get unlocked for you guys because you have something to say and you have a lot of power and you have a lot of access that can now be unlocked. And so that's part of what I love about doing this series.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. It's amazing. That's why I say it's so inspiring. It's beyond inspiring because it's like people become so small-minded and just thinking these guys are just athletes. But there's so many intelligent individuals that play sports that I came across that done, you know, took leaps and bounds higher than just basketball. Basketball is everyone's not going to be Michael Jordan of basketball. Everybody not, but they could be Michael Jordan in whatever passion that they find and go after. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah. Look, everyone's a brand. Like everyone's a brand, and you know, you guys have the opportunity to capitalize on that brand more than a lot of people. Russ could be the next like fashion designer that's, you know, now has a fashion show in Paris, and that's totally fine. By the way, on that whole tip, who's got the best style on the Spurs?
Oh, let me see. I'll probably go with Rudy Gay. Whether we on the road or we at home, he definitely come with some stylish things. So I'll go with Rudy.
It's not Coach Pop, huh?
No, he'll let you know it's not him.
You've been getting into cause in Bearbrick recently?
Man, that's probably top of my shoe obsession right now. Honestly, I think I just supposed to get about 50-some Bearbricks in a day.
Wait,
50? Did you order them from 50 from StockX?
Yeah, I ordered about 100 and something from StockX.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Josh, are you gonna give him? You got to give him something, man. You got to give.
I know. I know. We got to figure out the we have power to buy 100 at a time.
In the cost for sure. So I wish I could go downstairs and show y'all my basement. Matter of fact, when we get off the phone, I send a picture to the group chat.
Nice.
You guys both been obviously following sneaker culture for as long as it's been around.
Can you talk a little about the rise of sneaker collabs beyond the traditional pro athlete deals?
Man, to me, I think that's even more amazing because, you know, it'd be sometimes where I hit up my rapper friends and be like, yo, make sure I get these, because sometimes me being a Nike athlete, we don't necessarily get those. So it becomes another challenge. It's like a full cycle, you know, because it's like you see guys want to hoop in shoes that we wear, then we see our favorite entertainers that have shoes come up. You know, there's just so many collabs that come around. It separates the shoe and makes the shoe even more bigger than just a basketball shoe.
So I think that's something that's really cool that people don't realize. Even if you're with Nike or Adidas, you're not necessarily getting those.
Yeah, you're not. I've been with Nike my whole career. There's certain times I didn't. If it's somebody I have a relationship with, like I have no problem with asking them, you know, can you help me get these and everything. It keeps it fun and fresh and having that chase for a shoe, other than just expecting them to show up at your front door.
Yeah, I want everyone to hear that, and that DeMar said that, because everyone assumes that I can get them shoes because I run StockX. You are a Nike athlete for 10 years and you can't get them. Yeah, I buy most of my shoes on StockX too. No one's giving me shoes. I'm not signed to any, you know. So yeah, it's the same thing. There's everybody wants them. It's just supply and demand.
Before I let you go, we end every episode with a rapid fire segment. So you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So your house is on fire and you can only grab one pair of sneakers. before you go?
Air Force Ones, all white.
Probably Jordan 1 Royals.
Who in the world of sports and entertainment do you think is really the one who moves culture or influences culture the most?
At the top, man, it's Travis, Kanye, Virgil.
Yeah, I was going to say either Virgil and Jerry.
Yeah.
My two favorite.
What's your quarantine cheat food?
Wingstop.
I'm not a professional athlete, so I can eat whatever the hell I want to eat.
Fair enough. What's one thing that most people outside world might not know about you or might be surprised to know about you?
I'm goofy as hell. I'm beyond entertaining. Most people think I'm always serious, mad, and all this stuff. I'm the most goofiest individual you would come by.
I was a big corporate lawyer for a minute. Whole time I was there, I was working on a startup on the side, but
you two worked out.
When all this craziness ends, the quarantine, what's the first thing you want to do that you haven't been able to do?
Go to Disney World. Every year I take my kids to Disneyland, and I think I find just as much enjoyment as them going. So, and I miss it. I'm not even gonna lie.
Honestly, for me, I just miss my office, having everyone together and the whole StockX team and the whole thing. So,
thank you so much for taking the time. This was awesome. All right, you guys, take care.
Yep, appreciate you.
Thanks again for stopping by the Crossover. You can give our guests a follow here, and check back with us soon for more founder stories. Crossover is a venture capital platform that provides access to investing in the private technology sector and making sure that the next generation of wealth creation doesn't look like the last one. As part of that commitment, Crossover is proud to be making a contribution to our friends at All Star Code on behalf of all the participants in this series.